Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, March 4th, kind of the last day of the third quarter, or at least the last full day, because tomorrow, remember, is our half day, and that's our March 5th fun day. So hopefully you'll be back in time to catch us with that. Otherwise, enjoy your half day off, because there's not really any work being done tomorrow, except if you haven't turned stuff in. We need that stuff, because it's the end of the quarter, so make sure that stuff gets to us. If you have anything out there that we do not have, make sure you turn that in. Capiche? Capiche. What we're doing today is that this is going to introduce our next unit, which is all about natural selection and adaptations that animals and plants and variety of different creatures have. And this kind of activity will go along with it. Because it is March, and because the big thing with March is March Madness, the big old basketball tournament, what scientists have done is created their own March Madness, but this is going to be March Mammal Madness. And we're going to participate in it. So as you can see here, there's a giant bracket just like with the basketball stuff, but instead of like colleges, they are animals. Don't know if you can see that or not with it, but they're going to be animals that get shown. And they're going to be put in head-to-head competition in their ways of surviving and who has the best adaptations. So there's 65 animals, and you're going to get a winner. And you're going to fill out this bracket just like you would with the basketball tournaments, where two animals are going to go head-to-head, and you're going to pick the winner of their outcome. Now, there's a couple of videos that are going to be in the folder today. I want you to watch the videos. One of them is going to be a video explaining March Mammal Madness and what you do to it. The other one is one of the matchups from last year, so you can see how the matchups work. So you kind of get an idea and feel of how these things go. But you're going to fill out this bracket. There's going to be a PDF of it in Schoology for you. So you'll have to print it off, or if you find a way to write on it in Notability and whatnot, you can do that, I guess, and have an electronic copy of it. We're going to fill it out on paper, because I'm going to give everybody a paper copy of it. And then, because you're probably not familiar with these animals, Mrs. Ewing and I have put together a little scouting report with some of their key adaptations to help you better decide on what animal is going to be there. And also, so you know what some of these animals look like, because there's some weird kind of animals going on with it. So also in the folder is going to be this scouting report of the 2021 March Mammal Madness scouting report put together by Mrs. Ewing and I. And we've got each division breaking off, and then your matchups. So like the first round matchup is the dugong versus the colo possum. So you got a little picture showing them, and then a little brief, like, here's a quick thing of what this animal has and some of their benefits to it. Each animal also has a link. So if you're just interested in knowing more about the dugong, because you think dugongs are cool, because why not? They are cool. You can click on this, and it'll take you to a website where it's got more photos of the animals, where they live, and basically a whole big old breakdown of all of stuff dealing with the dugong. So we got a nice little kind of snapshot of each one of the animals here. The dugong, also known as the sea cow, is a great one there. I love that little guy. But you got each and every matchup going on for there, at least the first round, and then as they advance in the tournament brackets, if you're not familiar with it, whoever you put on this line and on the next line will compete against each other. And they go until you crown one final champion in the end. Now, how this works is that throughout the course of March, they are going to hold this competition. And when different brackets get played out, we're going to watch the video showing those brackets and what adaptations won the day, and fill out the chart as we go along, because they are officially going to crown the winner on March 31st, the last day of March there. So it literally will take us all the way through the month of March. And the first round of competition actually is going to happen next week. So that's why we're filling it out in the first week of March, because You fill it out the first week of March, and then in the next couple of weeks, it is like every level goes on. So like they do round 1 next week, then round 2, then round 3, then round 4, then the finals. So they kind of produce it in that fashion there. So we're going to be doing this for the next month or so. And I love it because it is getting you familiar with a bunch of weird, strange animals and some of the things that make them unique to their categories. And they're different divisions this year. They've got a couple of different ones. They've got some Tricksy Taxonomy, which will be animals where they've been classified as different things throughout their lives. So scientists aren't sure of what group they belong to. So that's all of these things coming up with them. I mean, look at that. The musk deer has fangs. Have you ever seen a deer with fangs? No. Crazy. I love this stuff. Going on with it. And even though it's called March Mammal Madness, sometimes they do include other species in there because we have, a lot of them in the first couple categories are mammals, but we will have some like reptiles and amphibians, and there's a whole category related to things in the ocean this year. So division number 2 is everything that is red. They have red fur, basically for that round. We've got of myths and monsters, which are things that are named after mythological creatures or things that are named after monsters, or things that we considered to be monsters at one point. So a lot of cool things ended up in that one. And then the final one here, you can see we're still filling it out even so for getting ready for next week or this week. We got Sea Beasties, which are all things that can be found in the sea. If you don't know how the ranking system go, every animal is ranked 1 through 16. 1 means that they're ranked a little bit higher. 16 would mean that they're the worst. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the higher number is always going to go into play, because there's lots of things that happen in the competition. It's not always necessarily a head-to-head battle. It could be who gets the watering hole. It could be who survives in this habitat. It could be who is able to run away faster so they can't even catch them. So there's a lot of different adaptations going on besides one animal killing the other animal. Because that's what survival is all about. There's different ways that you can survive in the wild. You don't have to necessarily kill to survive. Think of all the herbivores out there. They're doing just fine without eating other creatures. They're eating the plants and whatnot. They find their own ways to survive. There's a lot of plant eaters on here. So, yeah, that's kind of a rundown. Those videos will be on there. I find the videos to be funny and great, so hopefully you kind of see a little bit of what this is, and you're going to experience it throughout the entire month. This is one of my favorite things of the year is March Mammal Madness, because it also gets us into adaptations, which I love talking about some of the weird things that animals have that give them the leg up in the world, because now we can actually look at all the things that DNA has given us and put it to use. Now we actually get to see how we survive based off of those characteristics. No longer do we need to focus on, the cells in the DNA. We can look at the entire animal itself, which I find to be one of my favorite topics involving this stuff, honestly. So that is the March Mammal Madness. Make sure that you are checking that stuff out and finding some way to print it off. If you can't print it off, I can give you a hand one when you come back in class, or you can probably take the save the PDF in Notability and write on it that way, or blow it up on your screen and just take snapshots of this section, boom, boom, and then you have all 4 of your sections and you can write on the top of it, whatever you want to do, just as long as we're filling it out, and we're going to start using it next week when they have their first round of competition. So, and we'll come up with some kind of prize for whoever the winner is. We'll definitely cash in on something there, because each round you get different points for advancing. So we'll get some kind of not cash prize, some kind of actual prize, whether it's, a candy bar or something. We'll figure out something that will be worth, getting first prize for. Which, we'll have some kind of monetary value. I'm not going to give you straight cash, though. X that part. You'll get some kind of reward or treat for it. But that is all I've got. So maybe you stuck around for this whole video, maybe not. But hopefully we'll see you back here next week for the start of the fourth quarter. Remember to get your stuff in for the third quarter, or else we're going to try to be hunting you down. But otherwise, hope you're doing well, staying safe out there, and I'll see you later. Bye.